Hey guys, it's your favorite auntie. And it looks like we have a rekindled relationship between Armon and Reginae. And your favorite auntie has some advice for them. Before we get into this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. So, social media has been buzzing this week, and we've seen Armon and Reginae in the same places. We haven't seen them in any pictures together, but it's clear that they are definitely going back on dates together, spending time with one another, and I'm glad for them. They're giving their relationship a second chance. And I have some advice. On this channel is not dedicated to just covering Reginae and Armand, but on this channel, what we do is we cover what's happening on social media and we give advice. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give advice on what I think is going to take to what I think is going to take for them to have a successful relationship this time around. The number one thing is staying private. I think that when they were on YouTube together, as much as everyone loved those videos, and it was just great to see. It really was a joy to watch them together, but it also came with such a heavy price. And I believe that played a part in the demise of their relationship. You have so many people that got involved in their relationship and started nitpicking at videos and nitpicking at what Armand is doing and what Reginae is doing. And it seems as if they could not move without someone having something to say about it. So I like right now that I'm seeing that they're not out together in pictures and not doing videos. And I'm not saying that I don't think that they should do pictures together, but I definitely don't think that they should do YouTube videos together. And if they were to do it, then I think it has to be every now and then. Because what they would do is they would welcome everyone back into their relationship again. And the one thing that you need to know when you're doing your relationship, giving your relationship a second go around, is that if it didn't work the first time and you're saying, okay, we want to try this again, you've got to do some things different. And I think both of them seem to have learned that was not the best route for them. And so this time around, I really, really, really want them to work really hard at being just a little bit more private. I like the glimpse that we're seeing as far as like everyone knows that they're out together, but they're not showing you they're together. I think that's cute. And I think that would actually keep people interested in watching their videos if they're posting that they're out on a date somewhere, but they're not showing each other, but we can tell she's with someone, he's with someone. I think it keeps people coming to watch the videos. So I think that's a way that they can continue to do YouTube and still continue to let the fan base know that, hey, yeah, we're spending time together. We're really in this thing. We're really locked in this thing without having to put out videos for people. The second thing that I want them to do is establish social media boundaries, because we know in the past that there were some tweets that were done between both of them. We know one person kicked off the tweets, and I think that person didn't like what the other person said and started to tweet things themselves, right? And so there has to be a boundary set that if we get upset about something, we don't like what the other person is doing, that we don't use social media as an outlet to let that off. Because again, you're inviting all these people into your personal business. No one will know what's going on in your relationship unless you tell them, or if you're doing some shady stuff and then someone outs them. But other than that, no one will have a clue about what's going on in your relationship. You've got to give your relationship a chance to really flourish. And you need to see that it can run the course without, it can stand the course without people that don't even know you all up in your business. So I want them to establish clear social media boundaries. I want them to say that we're not going to tweet when we're angry about something. That's just a level of respect. The third thing I need them to do is communicate. They need to communicate the needs to one another. Each person needs to know what is a trigger for the other person. So if one person's trigger is, hey, if you're going out of town and I don't hear from you on a consistent basis, that makes me feel a certain way. And I need there to be a better line of communication for us. But if the other person feels, well, if I'm communicating consistently, it makes me feel like you're acting as if you're my parent. That could be a trigger for the other person. Talk about that. What are your triggers? What are some things that you feel that um you need to establish in the relationship that will make the relationship be strong? And how can we work through these things? Talk about those things to one another. That's the key. To one another. Establish conflict resolution. And when I say that, I mean that you've got to establish a way of, how can I tell you, communicate how I feel? Are you hearing what I'm saying? And how can we resolve it? So if I'm telling you that I need you to communicate with me more, text me more, FaceTime with me more if you're out of town, and you say, well, that seems to be a bit much for me. That's a lot. Establish how we resolve that. How do we resolve that? What is a compromise? Talk about that. What's a compromise that we can do to make the other person feel secure, and then the other person, it doesn't feel like it's too much on them? You have to do that. And this is really for not just for Armon and Reginae. This is really anyone can take this relationship advice. And it's coming from someone who is happily married, and I have been married a very long time. And so I think that I'm a good person to be able to give this advice, because I know sometimes people will put in the comments like, it's not your business. And, they'll come back and say all kinds of things. But I know what I'm talking about here. So I just wanted to establish that. The other thing that I think that would be successful for them is they have to establish a level of trust. And that's kind of in that scenario I just talked about, where you've got to be able to say, if you're out of sight, I still trust you. I know that you're not going to do anything that is going to be disrespectful to me, that you're not going to humiliate me. I need to be able to trust you, because if I can't trust you when you're not in my presence, that's a problem. And that needs to be addressed and established early on, before you get in too deep. And then it's like, you're in and out, and you're in and out, trying to make something work that just can't work because we don't have that level of trust. I think with the two of them, that can be an easy thing for them to have, because just from what I'm seeing, I'm not in their relationship, don't know them personally, but just from what I've seen, I feel that Armand is a trustworthy man. I feel that Reginae is a trustworthy woman. I feel that when other people get into their business, such as perhaps maybe family, friends, um, fans, that is what disrupts the trust. But those two individuals, I think, are trustworthy people. Now, if something comes out later that turns out I'm wrong about that, hey, I'll come back and do a video and say that. But I definitely think that they have what it takes to have a trustworthy relationship. Um, I also need them to keep their family and friends out of their disputes. And fans, you cannot bring your friends and family into every dispute that you have. Now, can you seek advice? Of course. If you guys are going through something and you want to reach out and you want to seek advice, but let me tell you who you should seek advice from. You should seek advice from a trusted friend, a trusted couple, a successful couple. And when I say successful couple, I mean a couple that you can look at and you see that they don't have a whole lot of issues that you see. And when I say a whole lot of issues, like they're not dealing with a bunch of infidelity, they're not dealing with people who are toxic. You see them just happily married individuals. They've been married for quite some time, or they've been in a relationship for quite some time. And you see when they're together, and that everything is really good between them. They are they know how to speak to one another, they know how to communicate with one another. They um they are, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to use the word their goals, because you just never really know what goes on inside of a person's home. But you can, every time you're with them, and from everything that you've heard about this couple, it looks to be a successful couple, right? That's the type of people that you want to seek out for advice. You can even seek out friends who may not be in a relationship, but they have gone through some things and they're going to give you solid advice. They're going to tell you things that they know that they've done wrong or that they could have done differently in a relationship. Or maybe it wasn't them, it was their significant other that didn't show up the way he needed to show up. Or, sometimes people just don't mesh well together, but they're still capable of giving you strong advice. Those are the people that you want to seek advice from. You don't want to seek advice from people that are wanting to tell you, oh, well, girl, you should just leave him. Oh, or you should just leave her. Oh, you should just leave it alone. Unless that person is really doing something detrimental to you, that is harmful to you, then absolutely. Um, the other thing that I want them to do is really just enjoy one another. I love seeing them going on dates right now. Well, not personally seeing it, but just you can see that they're out and about. I like that. I would love to see them continue to do that. I want to see them continue to take trips, venture into new endeavors. I think that together they could really build an empire, because I feel like I saw it coming. When we would see them on YouTube, I was like, wow, they could really, 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 really be a successful couple. Just his mindset, her mindset together, people just really love them together. The endeavors that he wanted to embark on, I see now he's wanted to kind of start his clothing line. He's still putting out music. Reginae's still doing her acting. She does, projects on a regular basis, even outside of just acting. She's a hard worker, to say, she's 25 years old. She's on the grind. He's on the grind. But I think that this time around can just really be successful for them if they just do things in a different way. Now, let's talk about this. Let's pivot for just a moment. I'm going to go there. Some people are wondering, do the friends and family accept Armon back? And I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say probably not. And that includes her mother. I think Toya is a wonderful mom. I think that she has done a great job raising her daughter. I think she wants what every mother wants, which is to see their daughter happy, prosperous, successful, um, and in a good, healthy relationship. Every mom wants that. But I also believe that she may not, and this is just my opinion, everything in this video is just my opinion. And this, what I'm going to say, is just my opinion. Just, it's not a fact. So I don't need anybody getting down in the comments trying to come at me about, oh, you don't know that. I said that. I'm saying that I don't know this for sure. This is just my hypothesis. I think that the show, Toya and Reginae's show, is what created the rift between Toya and Armon. And I don't know if it put the show in jeopardy. I don't know if it's that him pulling out of the show caused people to not watch and the ratings went down. I don't know if some of the things that he tweeted about the show, she was upset, but I would be willing to put money on the fact that she's probably not happy that her daughter is back with him. And I could be totally wrong. She could be totally accepting and inviting and just, you know, throwing him a welcome back party. I doubt it though. But I think as a mom, sometimes you have to step back and you have to let your child figure it out themselves. She's 25. She's not 15. She's not 18. She is a grown adult. People are having kids, a family, and, sometimes years into a career at 25. You have got to let go. Her mom has to let go. And she has to be careful on the advice that she gives Reginae. And Reginae needs to be more careful on the things that she's venting to her mother about. And then they also have to not mix that type of business with Regine's personal relationship. There's got to be established boundaries there. I know as a mom, you can be scared sometime of your child leaving the nest, them moving on, but they have to do that. They have to cleave to their spouse. And I think Armand is Regine's spouse. I think that's the person for her. I could be wrong. He may not be, but that's just my thought and my opinion. And if something shows me otherwise, then I'll have a different opinion about it. But just seeing the character that I've seen just on social media, which we don't know if that's a true character or not, but in the videos and everything he's done, he just seems to be a stand-up guy, in my opinion. I haven't seen anything that came out that was like, aha, that's what he did. Haven't seen anything like that. So I think this has the potential to be her spouse. But I think the only way that she can get there is if she established boundaries. And Regina has to um, not run to her mom and tell her everything. Because I think part of the problem is I think that Toya may not hold her daughter to the accountability standard that she needs to. Of course, she's going to give her grace because that's her child. So anything her daughter says, she's going to take it as gold. And even if it's something that she did that she didn't think was right, she's going to tell it, that that's not right. But I think the way she got upset with Armand to me was way more than I think what it probably needed to be. That's just my opinion, but I don't know what happened because no one has said. But you would think if it was that detrimental, we would know by now. So I say that to say that I don't think she's probably happy about her daughter's rekindled relationship, but I think that this is Regine's decision, and I'm glad that she's making that decision without having to have the approval of others, because you could really end up alone or with the wrong person because you let your friends or family influence you into something different instead of just going with what your heart told you to go with, especially when it's not a situation that's harmful to you. Someone I don't believe he's someone that would cheat on her. I don't believe he was someone that would lie to her. I don't believe he was a love bomber. I don't believe that he used her for any clout. I just think that man just loved her and she deserves to be loved. I think that's what that was. And, he did something. Maybe he didn't call her back like she wanted him to. I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point. But I just want her to establish those boundaries with the family and with the friends. And the mom, Toya, has to understand that it's time for her daughter to move on and find the love that she needs and establish her new life with her potential husband. I think if she does those things that I've talked about in this video, I think we would see a wedding. I really do. And I think Toya will eventually come around. It's going to probably take her some time because she's probably not excited right now. But I think she can eventually come around. And next year, I would love to see, instead of the holiday picture with Toya and Rain, I would love to see the holiday picture with Armand. So that's my thought. You guys put down in the comments if you have any advice for the couple that you think that they could use to help them this time around.